From the Samson Production Studios in the heart of Hazleton, Pennsylvania, it's your News 13.
Brought to you by SSPTV and the Standard Speaker.
It began with a fight between kids and ended with one father killing another. The latest bloodshed on the streets of Wilkes-Barre, our top story on News 13 for this Friday. Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Kathy Baczynski. A neighborhood fight between two young boys ends in death for the father of one of them in Wilkes-Barre. Christina Papa reports on how two families were torn apart by last night's shooting.
A small makeshift memorial marks the spot where 40-year-old Derek Cottle was shot and killed. Reno Lane is quiet today, but it was much different Thursday night.
I remember hearing what we thought were fireworks, and I'm sorry. No, I'm pregnant. I'm scared to live here.
Natalie Kaminsky lives just steps away from where Cottle was shot. When she heard it, she ran to see what happened.
We heard 5 firecrackers, what we thought was firecrackers, and we seen them laying in the road here in a pool of blood. I'm so scared right now. I don't want to live here anymore.
Police say the shooting all started with a fight between two boys after playing a basketball game at a nearby park. Cottle's son was in the fight. That's why Cottle headed to Reno Lane after he saw the other boy in the fight leave with his father. That's when an argument erupted between Cottle and the other boy's father. Investigators say the other dad, 36-year-old Shantae Thomas, pulled out a pistol and the crowd began to scatter. That's when shots rang out. When Natalie walked out of her home, she saw a man lying on the street right here in a pool of blood. Another man, the now suspected shooter, sitting up against the fence. Investigators say Cottle died at the scene. A short time later, police took Thomas into custody. This morning, investigators charged Shantae Thomas with homicide. It's just the latest in a string of deadly crimes spurred by gun violence in Wilkes-Barre since the first of this year. Neighbors like Natalie Kaminsky are worried for their safety.
I just can't believe it happened so close. I mean, it was right here, and we live here. It's unbelievable.
Shantae Thomas is being held in the Luzerne County Correctional Facility without bail. He faces a hearing on the charges on May 9th. Christina Papa, News 13, Wilkes-Barre.
State police are investigating a fatal crash in Black Creek Township early this morning. Troopers say 38-year-old Paul Sokolowski of Black Creek Township was driving along Tom Hicken Road just north of Rockland Road at about 1:30 this morning when he lost control of his vehicle. His car traveled off the road, hit a tree, then flipped onto its side. State police say that Sokolowski was not wearing his seatbelt when that deadly crash occurred. A frightening morning for an older driver when she apparently hit the gas instead of the brake and rolled her car. Happened just after 11 this morning in the parking lot of the Laurel Mall. Responders from all over Greater Hazleton were called, and when they arrived on the scene, they found the woman suspended upside down in her car, badly damaged.
Apparently, she must have stepped on the accelerator instead of the brake when she was coming up around. She hit one of the dividers, hit a tree, and it rolled her onto her roof. She was trapped upside down in her seat. We extricated her, making a third door conversion, stabilized the vehicle, and inverted her and gave her to care of EMS.
The chief said that responders said the woman was having trouble breathing but felt much better after they removed her from the car. She was flown to a trauma center for treatment. No word on her name or her condition. Well, sexual violence against women is unacceptable, and at times women feel powerless against it. But as they say, nobody knows how frightening something can be until you've walked a mile in their shoes. Well, some men from Schuylkill County did just that last night. As Matthew Petrillo tells us, they came out to support the fight against sexual violence by trying to literally walk in women's shoes.
Their heels click-clacked for blocks all around Pottsville Tuesday night. But there's something high-heeled about this sassy-shoed bunch. These divas are actually dudes. Al Marshall has been participating in this annual march for years, and while he experiences some pain during the mile march,
they hurt a little.
He struts his stuff and hopes women stop becoming victims of sexual violence.
There are a lot of abused women, and these people do a wonderful job of helping them out.
About 100 other gender bender participants joined Marshall in strutting their stuff for a cause. They're marching a mile in high heels to raise awareness about the ill effects of sexual violence.
Destroys their relationship with spouses and their own family, They can't feel comfortable in their own skin in those relationships. Many of them that have been assaulted as children do not do well in school. They become promiscuous.
The annual Walk a Mile in Her Shoes March is hosted by the Sexual Assault Resource and Counseling Center of Schuylkill and Lebanon counties. The organization provides free and confidential counseling, as well as an intervention for children, adults, and families in the area. It's the third time they've held the march, which also doubles as a fundraiser. Participants donate $10, and many are happy to join the cause despite the pain.
Downhill is definitely not ideal. It's harder than it seems.
It's excruciating pain. I don't know how they do it.
Downhill and my shoe broke. I got a blown wheel.
Now, only 2 guys broke their heels along the way. They're doing okay, but all the men agree they can't wait to get back into their own shoes.
Sexual violence is found in almost all countries, in all socioeconomic classes, and in all age groups from childhood onwards. But by spreading awareness and offering counseling, the prevalence of sexual violence can be diminished. Matthew Petrillo, News 13, Pottsville.
So now they know. Well, still ahead on News 13. Get ready to tackle all that yard work or just head outside and enjoy. We'll tell you how nice the weekend will be in News 13 weather. But first, how about a weekend romp with a new puppy or a cuddle with a kitten? You'll meet some creatures looking for a forever home when News 13 continues.
And we are back here at the Hazelton Animal Shelter for this week's Adopt Me. And today we have a little new puppy named Sky.
That's right. Sky is an approximately 3 to 4 month old Border Collie mix, perhaps a Border Collie Husky mix. She's very energetic, very vocal. She's also very affectionate. She's currently up to date on all of her vaccines and tested negative for both heartworm and Lyme. As you can see, she's got a very playful and affectionate personality. She loves toys, and she also loves to run around and to be held. She constantly enjoys to be around people. And she tends to whine for your attention if you don't give it to her.
And one of the unique things about her, Chris, is her eyes.
That's correct. She has one blue and one brown eye. Oftentimes, oh, you can hear her now. Many breeds commonly have blue eyes, at least one blue, including Siberian Huskies and Border Collie, and we think she's mixed with both. So that would explain the trait. It is a very unique look. You don't see that very often.
Okay, now there's Sky. Now let's head on into the cat colony. So now we're here in the male cat colony, and today we have a big boy, Chris.
That's right. This is Nichols, probably one of the largest cats here at the shelter. He's an adult domestic short hair, and I think he has a little bit of American silver tabby breed mixed into him because of the beautiful colors on his back. He's a very laid-back and affectionate cat. You see, he loves to be held. He loves people. He gets along really well with other cats. He'd, I think, be excellent for any home, whether you have animals there or not. Also, Nichols is already up to date on all of his shots. He is neutered and tested negative for feline leukemia and FIV.
Oh, okay. And now with the weather finally starting to turn and it's starting to get warmer, is rabies one of the concerns, Chris?
Yeah, rabies is always a concern, especially in Pennsylvania. We happen to have a high amount of rabies in some of our wildlife. But in this weather, people are interacting outdoors more often. We're taking our dogs for walks more often, and we may encounter animals that could potentially carry the rabies virus. So it's a good idea to keep an eye out for any local veterinary clinics, low-cost rabies clinics that are coming up, or just to keep your animal vaccinated and current as best you can. Many times our own shelter here, we like to have rabies clinics twice throughout the year, biannually, but we don't have any currently scheduled. People can always call and see if we or any veterinary clinics are holding any veterinarian offices are holding their rabies clinics anytime soon.
Okay, guys. Now, if you guys at home are interested in the big guy here, Nichols, or Sky, who we saw earlier, come on down to the Hazelton Animal Shelter at 101 North Poplar Street. And for this week's Adopt Me, I'm Stephanie Gorney.
Come on, you got to adopt one of those guys. Time now for our regional weather from the National Weather Service. Checking the radar, nothing to see here, and that's the way it will stay right through the weekend, which is shaping up to be really, really nice. Our creative condition tonight, probably what a lot of kids will be doing this weekend, playing outside. It's by Autumn Maybott, a first grader at Valley Elementary, and she's playing on her swing set on a beautiful day. Now let's take a look at News 13 weather from the National Weather Service for Greater Hazleton. For tonight, it'll be mostly clear but cold with a low all the way down to 32. But then tomorrow, mostly sunny with a high near 65 big degrees. Overnight low just down to 41. And heading to Schuylkill County for tonight, clear and cold, again low down to freezing. But for tomorrow, sunny, we're heading towards 70 degrees, a high of at least 67. Overnight low around 44. Well, some businessmen and women hit the greens today to enjoy the nice weather and get out of the office for a while. Greater Hazleton Chamber of Commerce held its 9th annual Icebreaker golf outing today at Blue Ridge Trail, and they couldn't have asked for better weather. It was open to all the chamber members as well as their guests. About 72 golfers total came out. This event was designed for the businessmen and women to get away from the desk and out in the sunshine.
This is open to all of our chamber members and their guests, so it's just really an opportunity for businessmen and women to get out on the golf course, have an opportunity to socialize, but a lot of business gets done out on the golf course too, so that's why we host this event annually.
And if you didn't make today's Icebreaker, the Chamber will host a larger golf outing on August 15th at Eagle Rock Resort. That's expected to draw about 144 golfers. Let's check the winning Midday Lottery numbers. Good luck if you play. The Daily, 356. Big 4, 7056. The Quinto, 63732. And the Treasure Hunt, 2, 7, 10, 13, 25. Hope you won.
Good evening, everyone, and here's tonight's Talk of the Town report. First tonight, Nescopeck State Park is inviting you to join the conservation volunteer Dave Toole for an early morning bird walk Saturday, May 25th, beginning at 8 a.m. The walk will be suitable for beginners. The walk is free of charge and binoculars will also be available. For more info or to register, please call 570-403-2006. And finally, the Sons of the American Legion Mountain Post 781 will be holding its annual flea market and chicken roast dinner Sunday, May 5th from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. The event will feature over 30 vendors with antiques, collectibles, crafts, jewelry, and more. Cost for chicken dinner is just $8. For more information, please call 570-474-2161. That's tonight's Talk of the Town. News 13 would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Michael V. Sanko, formerly of Hazleton. Funeral is Monday at 10 a.m. in the St. John Bosco Church. Friends may call Sunday from 4:30 to 6 p.m. Arrangements are under the direction of the Frank J. Bonin Funeral Home. Richard L. Street of Drums. Arrangements will be announced by the Harmon Funeral Home. Florence Lusher, formerly of Hazleton. Arrangements will be announced by the Joseph P. Conahan Funeral Home. Karen M. Riley of Whitehaven. Memorial is Tuesday at 11 a.m. at the Good Shepherd Church. Friends may call at the church from 10 to 11 a.m. The McNulty Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. Robert F. Wallace of Wyoming. Funeral is Saturday at 9:15 a.m. from the Lehman Family Funeral Service. Friends may call Friday from 5 to 8 p.m. and Saturday from 8:30 to 9:15 a.m. Michael Kelly Tambasco of Hazleton. Arrangements will be announced by the Joseph A. Moran Funeral Home. Lucille E. Karachanan of Hazleton. Funeral is Monday at 9 a.m. from the Joseph P. Conahan Funeral Home. Friends may call Sunday from 6 to 9 p.m. Helen D. McHale, formerly of Hazleton. Funeral is Monday at 10:30 a.m. from the Furo Funeral Home. Friends may call Monday from 9 to 10:30 a.m. And Benedicta M. Kennedy, formerly of Hazleton. Arrangements will be announced by the Turnbach Funeral Home. Tonight's obituaries have been brought to you by the Smilax Floral Shop located on 15th Street in Hazleton. For delivery to all local funeral homes, call 570-454-0111. And by Mia's, once again, the Hazleton area's #1 rated restaurant. Call 570-501-3410 for information on luncheon packages.
SSPTV Sports on News 13 with Fred Barletta Jr.
Well, baseball is exclusively a Schuylkill League thing today. Nothing in the Wyoming Valley Conference. You take a look. We got 3 games to tell you about. The Marion Colts, they seem to be playing every day. They're at Minersville. Panther Valley North Schuylkill, Thorpe at Tamaqua. In softball, well, we snuck 1 game in there in the Wyoming Valley Conference. That's because it's actually a makeup. That's MMI at Northwest. The rest is Schuylkill League. Marion Monai PV North Schuylkill and Jim Thorpe at Tamaqua. In tennis, Holy Redeemer and MMI will be battling it out on the north side courts. Track got invitationals today. First, the girls. Hazleton area, they've won 2 of the invitationals so far this year. They'll try to make it 3 in a row. They're at the Pine Grove Invitational. See a lot of District 3 teams at that one. Meanwhile, Hazleton area's boys, they're down at Millersville University in that Pennsylvania Dutch country. Now, to the scoreboard from last night. We said Marion seems to be playing every day. They had a dandy last night. Doesn't get better in a 2-1 game in baseball. You talk about a pitcher's duel, Marion comes out on top. Meanwhile, Pocono Mountain East bombs Tamaqua. Easy one there for the Pocono Mountain East gang. North Schuylkill Pottsville, we'll give this one to the Spartans 6-4. Softball slugfest won by Monoy area. Marcella Shaler 2 for 2, 3 RBI as a matter of fact. 12 hits for Tamaqua when you lose, never a good thing. Marion, no contest. They run away from Pius X. That's the most runs they've scored all season long. Tennis straight sets. Hazleton area over Holy Redeemer. Track scores in the Schuylkill League. Schuylkill Haven over Monoy. Marion over PV. And Tamaqua over Minersville. They're all on the girls' side. As far as the boys, well, Monoy avenged the girls' loss. They beat Schuylkill Haven. Marion over Panther Valley easily, and Tamaqua, they breezed by Minersville. Russ Kanzler 0 for 2 for the second game in a row, and boy, I'll tell you, that usually hasn't happened with him this year. His Norfolk team, though, 2-0 winners. The Rail Riders short end of things to Columbus, so Columbus takes 2 out of 3 in that series. The Iron Pigs get upended by Indianapolis. There's your minor league scoreboard schedules for today. The NFL draft will continue tonight. Round 1 in the books. A lot of linemen on both the offensive and defensive side. We'll see what happens tonight. It's been something everybody's been waiting for. The area's newest state-of-the-art facility is now open. We're talking about celebrations down at Sand Springs. It's going to seat up to 300. And whether it's private bridal suites that you're interested in or exquisite on-site ceremony location, this is the place you want to check out. Breathtaking floor-to-ceiling stone fireplaces, elegant cathedral ceilings, and they have the large windows overlooking the picturesque first hole of the fairway. White glove service from a friendly and courteous staff. It's celebrations at Clubhouse Drive, Drums, Pennsylvania, located within the Sand Springs complex.
Well, they are indeed a far cry from your average classical music orchestra. They are young, they're hip, they're classically trained musicians out of the New England Conservatory of Music. They are called a far cry, and they don't have a conductor, and they push the boundaries of classical music, and they will be right here next week as part of the Greater Hazleton Concert Series. And one of our favorite visitors, Amelia Bergeron, joins us from the concert series. Thank you so much for coming in. Tell me, I went online and checked out a far cry. They're pretty cool. Tell me what makes them so cool.
Well, you've said most of it. There are 2 things that make them unique, and one is that they stand while they're performing, except for the cellist, by the nature of the instrument, cannot stand, must be seated. And what is wonderful about that is that not only are they giving the expressions of the music through their playing, but through their body language. They're able to express the passion of the music much better than if they were seated. Second is that they have no conductor, that they are self-directed. They get together before they're going to perform, and they decide how they're going to present, how they're going to perform. And being a very democratic group, everything is by vote. They are members of the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum. They are their chamber orchestra in residence, and of course they are in collaboration with the education of the New England Conservatory of Music. They perform, now they're going to be performing classical music, of course, but it's not going to be the long-haired things that people associate as being classical in nature. there will be pieces and themes that you will recognize. They'll be playing Vivaldi, Brahms, Bartok's Romanian dances, Astor Piazzolla's tangos, and they will end with Mozart's Eine kleine Nachtmusik.
Oh, lovely.
So, and everybody knows that, and they'll go out humming that.
Absolutely. Now, we're looking at video of them, but one of their hallmarks is not just coming in and performing, they get involved in the community. I know you had some events today. They're in town. Tell me what they've been doing.
Well, they want to get people more involved in music. They rehearse in the storefront, and they also have neighborhood concerts. Now, we are going to have them present a student outreach activity to the youngsters at MMI in Freeland.
How wonderful.
So that is going to be an exciting experience for both me and the students.
Absolutely. Now, let's take a look. We've got the information. It's a far cry, and they are performing on Tuesday?
Yes, at 7:30 at Hazleton Area High School, 1601 West 23rd Street. So everybody come out, get off the couch. There's nothing there, but here you will find a diverse program.
Absolutely. Come enjoy a nice spring evening and some beautiful music. And of course, guess who never comes empty-handed? We have 2 free tickets to A Far Cry, and we are going to give them away right now to caller number 13. Dial 459-9813 right now. Amelia, thank you so much. And you dialers out there, good luck. Go see A Far Cry. And plenty more news and information headed your way on News 13, a unique way to bring awareness to sexual violence against women as some men walk in their shoes. That story and much more news when the 13 crew comes right back.